Salutations, Duthos. This is your fabulous leader, the Queen of Shade, coming at you with another presentation. I am thoroughly enjoying myself getting to interview all of these beautiful Black and Latin men that I have supported and seen and followed and watched through the lens of social media, and they have graciously all agreed that they will give me a one-on-one in-depth look into who they are and allow us to help help them, be seen even more magnanimous in our eyes. So in layman's terms, so we get to love them more. So I have another one. Without further ado, I would like to introduce to all of you Mr. Deuce Anderson. Did I get it right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Hi, say hi to the people.
Hello, everyone.
So tell us, I was just asking you before the interview started, I was asking you if you had a college degree. And your answer was very, very interesting. So it sparked the conversation. So I wanted to ask you again while I was recording. So here we go. Deuce, do you have a college degree?
I don't have a college degree, but I did spend most of my adult life working in the equestrian industry, where I would work with sport horses for competition, training, and sale.
Wow.
And so I say that in replacement of a college degree because I have educated myself and I've worked with top level professionals, Olympic trainers, top level trainers and riders around the country and around the world, really. And so that's what I did for my furthering education.
Wow, that is so beautiful. So you must really like horses.
I love horses. Horses is a big part of my life.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I've never talked to a jockey before. I'm joking. Jockeys are smaller. Your position was much elevated, but I threw that out there. But no, like I remember being like a young kid in it was actually elementary school. And there was a young girl and her name was Alexandria. And she was obsessed with horses, so obsessed with horses that we used to play this game where we were like imaginary horses. We did all of the sounds. We galloped. Those were suburban games, honey. It wasn't the hood. It wasn't the hood. So we would run around those suburban grasslands like we were horses. And then eventually I got tired of that. And then all of a sudden I was the cheetah and my brothers and sisters were the Thompson gazelles, and I always chased them and killed them. So, but anyway, back to you. So I would imagine that you would need to be somewhere with warm weather to do that year round.
Well, yeah. So actually I grew up in DC, born and raised in Washington, DC, and I started coming to South Florida in the wintertime about 6 or 7 years ago now.
Wow.
And it's what a lot of very wealthy people tend to do is they would come from wherever they are up north or in Europe, wherever they're from, and they come to Florida in the wintertime because it's warm here. Like right now, there's it's sunshine, there's palm trees outside. It makes working with horses a lot easier because obviously everything you're doing with horses is outside. So in the winter up north or in colder places, water buckets freeze and it's not comfortable to ride in the cold. So people will come down here. So that's what I've been doing for the past 6-7 years, coming down here for the winter time and then going somewhere else for the spring and summer.
Wow. Where are some of the places that you go for the spring and summer?
Well, I do some work in Europe, like Belgium and Germany, and then also in the Virginia and Maryland area, which is close to the rest of my family where they live. I've also done some work in New England and Massachusetts. Yeah.
You're interesting me. I'm so glad that I asked you to do this.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're interesting me a lot. I like when I hear, would you say that it is safe to say that the equestrian industry is not really a place where you see a lot of Black people?
Oh, absolutely. That statement is 100% accurate. And actually, it's been a strong passion of mine to include Black people into the equestrian industry, especially educating them, showing them how horses think, how to work with horses, how to develop a horse. And that's something I've been really, really interested in. And I've started at a very, very small scale. I've got this young Black kid who's leasing my horse. it's a big dream of mine that's come true, and it makes me so happy to see her have her dream come true. Like she gets to ride a horse, and it's really fulfilling for me.
Wow. I'm gonna see, I love these interviews because I get to go in. So one thing that I noticed about you is something that I always had people say to me. It wasn't always the nicest thing to say, because it was like, well, what the hell do you expect? I don't live under a rock, but I'm going to say what they say to me. You are very well spoken.
Oh, thank you.
Very well spoken. I can tell that you are not typical, if you understand what I'm saying. I'm dancing around that because I don't really want to make it about a race thing. It's sad because I do know, being from Philadelphia, my grandfather, he lived in a part of the city where they had horses, but it was different.
Okay.
But this was the thing though, wintertime, difficult, all snow.
Yeah, right.
And also, I'm going to say this, that these were young Black kids that had horses that rode through the streets. If you understand,
Yeah.
no actual uniformity,
Yeah, and that's why I said the education part.
Yeah.
Because like you said, there are a bunch of places around the country that Black people are riding, but like you said, they're riding on the street. They're kind of like doing it in the backyard kind of way.
Yeah.
And I would like to teach those same type of people that have access to the horse or know how to get on a horse, they don't have really that fear. You can do it. Here's how you do it in a nicer way, not just for yourself, not just the look, but also for the horse. It's a whole thing.
You know what's so crazy? When I was in college, I was a peer advisor over the summertime to a group of young up and coming teenagers. They were juniors and seniors in high school, and they were getting ready to prepare to apply to colleges. And I was a peer advisor. It was called the Harrisburg Partnership Program. And this was up in Clarion, Pennsylvania, because I went to Clarion University. This has a point, trust me. I went to Clarion University, and I remember taking them to some kind of like mountainous, kind of like, it was like an amusement park, but there were no rides. It was more of nature, and there was like mini golf and stuff like that. But they had horses that had been trained to follow a trail through the mountains.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And that was the first time. And it was, okay, I'm gonna skip ahead and then say what I'm gonna say. I gotta go ahead because this, of course, will interest me. It was so funny because to see the city boys riding on these horses, and these were athletes, these were basketball players, these were football players. And some young women, we were all on these horses. And they told them, you wore sweatpants today. That's not really a good thing to wear when you're riding a horse. And they shrugged it off. And I'll never forget when it was over, them trying to get off that horse and they couldn't even walk.
Right.
like people think it's a joke when a woman says all that muscle between my legs, but that really is a lot of muscle between your legs. But now I'll say what I was going to say. That was 21 years ago. But I remember it because my horse's name was Pebbles. That was the first time I rode a horse, and she was calm, but she didn't like other horses getting too close to her on the trail. So her ears would go back and she would prepare to kick. And you would hear the guides who were riding alongside the horses say, Pebbles, no. So, and they kept having to do that. So it's kind of ironic. I started singing.
Oh, nice.
I sang, and what I loved about it was we were in the mountains. So the acoustics of it, I sang the entire ride. And they said to me, the instructors and the guides, they were like, you have a beautiful voice. And that actually helped the horses because you were singing in a soothing tone. So as they walked, it kind of like helped to put them at ease, y'all. They realized there was no threat. I love horses.
Definitely. Music. Well, music also plays a part in my life, but music and horses is a strong correlation too. And just an example of like what you just said, like it can calm them, like it calm people, but it calms them and makes them just soothe and relax, and having a nice voice helps, and then they just start to appreciate, hearing that.
Yeah. So I'm going to segue here. The equestrian industry, music industry. Please tell me about that. Because I just recently, I'm not gonna lie, I just recently was on your page and I saw something about music and I'm like, why did I never realize that he did music? So please tell us about your music. What do you do?
Yes, well, so it all ties back to DC. I grew up in DC,
Mm-hmm.
and horses came a little bit later on in life, maybe when I was a mid-teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Mid-teens is when horses came into my life on a regular basis, but music is what I started off doing. That's what my mom kind of made me and my younger sisters do. We didn't have it was like music and religion. That was our two things we had to
Yes.
do.
Yes.
And so I actually grew up playing the cello, classical music,
Oh,
and then grew up. Horses came into my life, and I was really involved with that. But again, I was always singing. I was always singing. I was always singing something, because for me to remember my classical music pieces when I was at school, I would sing it to myself to memorize it. So I was singing all the time. So anyway, growing up, I was still singing, and I would just write poems, and then I would put my poems to instrumentals, or I would rewrite, a bigger artist like a Beyonce song. I would pull up the instrumental and write something on my own, and I would share with friends, and like they would say, "Oh, your music is pretty good." Then I would find a studio, and I would just come up with some songs. And so it's still very new for me, because not to say that I'm shy about it, but I haven't advertised that as much. And but it's something that I'm extremely passionate about, and it's something that it will always be a part of my life because I love it so much. But
wow.
yeah, my music is like R&B pop kind of vibes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said something that appealed to the blue blood in me.
Okay.
You played the cello.
Yes.
How many years did you play the cello?
Well, I started that when I was 6 years old, and I played it like for real, for real. I played it from when I was 6 until I was about like 21, and then after that, I kind of stepped back.
You never thought about going to become a part of a symphony orchestra?
I thought about it, but then I was like, I don't know. I know. I was like, I don't know if I really
I,
want to do that. That part didn't feel as fulfilling to me, because there was like some youth orchestra programs that I had done. Um, and it was fun. It was interesting. That part was fun to perform for people. Um, but I didn't go in that direction. I did, however, so like I said, my two younger sisters and I, we played together. We actually played as a trio, and we
okay.
played around events in DC, like cocktail parties, brunches, small grand openings of like whatever stores, things like that. So we did that, like that. We were doing that like for real for a while. That was our main source of income. And then we kind of just branched off and went our own separate ways.
Okay. This is not supposed to be a mentor session. I am supposed to be talking to you and getting to know you, and I am. But now I have to put on my mentor hat.
Yes.
Sweetheart, you played the cello from 6 to 21.
Mm-hmm.
That is a gift. Do you know in most inner city schools, they have removed instruments from
Mm-hmm.
schools because they cannot afford to keep them, or the budget does not allow for children to be able to pick up instruments. I am not trying to steer you wrong, but please do not do yourself a disservice by letting that go. That is not just music. Now I understand, yes, there's pop music. Yes, there's, R&B. Yes, there's mainstream music. But you want to know something? And this is crazy because this happened to me today, and I'm going to share it with you right now. I went to the wholesale club that my grandmother and I are affiliated with to get some of her medicine today. And they know me. They watch my material. There were new people there of color because we go to the suburbs for this, and it's not too many people of color there. But I was at the window, and the pharmacist knows me, and he was asking me, "Oh, how are you doing?" Da 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 da. And I said, it's really paying off for me. I said, I started something new, and it's going really well. And he was like, he was like, he was like, you always work. Because he asked me, how was your Thanksgiving? I said, I worked. He said, how was your Christmas? I said, I'm going to work. I said, I just always work. It's my thing. I've been chained to my desk for the last 5.5 years and I love it. And he was like, you know, for you to have that kind of stick-to-itiveness and that kind of commitment says a lot about you. And he was praising me and he was saying, I'm glad that these things are successful for you. But he asked me something. He said, would you recommend the entertainment industry to anyone else? And I shocked myself, Deuce, because I looked him in his face and I said, no, I wouldn't recommend this industry to young people. And I said, I don't want to kill their dreams, but this company in this industry is a money pit. It is a huge money pit. I came into the industry with nothing at first. That was 20 years ago, 21 years ago. And then 5.5 years ago, my grandmother gave me 6 figures. She went into her retirement and gave me 6 figures. And even with 6 figures, it went like that. What I am trying to illustrate to you is that you have a lot going for you. You're young. We'll get to the fact that you're a model. We'll get to the fact that you have an amazing body. We'll get to all of that in a second. But you have amazing qualities. Talent is not enough. Yeah, you're welcome. Talent is not enough in this industry. Money rules. And if you're coming from humble beginnings, if you're coming from a 9 to 5, I kid you not. One album alone, I spent almost $50,000 to get it.
I believe it.
Yes. And get this, that's nothing. Imagine mainstream producers who want $250,000 for a beat or $70,000 for a beat. This thing gets pricey very quickly. But I'm going to leave you with this. If you are passionate about it, figure out a way for you to do it in a practical way on your own. When I say that, I mean, you know, people think it's crazy, but weddings happen every spring. Cocktail parties, you know, you're around, oh, I'm getting goosebumps. You're around people with money. You're around people of a certain caliber. And that, Deuce, it matters. It really does. So I just want to, I'm not trying to steer you off your course, but I just want you to hear it from somebody that did it and is still doing it. It's expensive as fuck. And when you have, and let me tell you something, I don't play an instrument. Wish I did. I love the violin, never picked it up. Maybe when I'm rich and I can live in my chateau in France, I'll hire somebody to teach me how to play the violin. I always wanted to. The violin makes me cry. I just love the sounds that it makes, but the cello too. For you, like, get it. A lot of Black people play the trombone, the saxophone, the clarinet, not the cello. The cello is something completely different, and our people don't do that. And honestly, a lot of females, our Black women do, but for a Black man to play the cello, I'm just seeing that as a brand all in itself. I'm just seeing how to market that all in itself. So let me leave you alone, because you didn't pay me $250 for me to mentor you. So anyway, let's move on. So you're in Southern Florida. What part of Florida? Like Miami, Fort Lauderdale?
This is Palm Beach County, so I'm like 2.5 hours from Miami.
Okay, but Palm Beach. Okay, I've heard of Palm Beach. Now I have a question for you, and I know this is going to sound crazy, and I know I'm going to sound like a northerner. Do you have alligators in your backyard?
Oh my gosh. No, there's no alligators.
And boa constrictors and
No, let me tell you something. First of all, have you been to Miami? You've been to Miami before,
no,
right?
I've never been to Miami. It's on my list.
Well, okay. And that's the thing, like I've had even my family, like I haven't gotten them to come here because they all have the negative stereotype of Florida, whether it's they think COVID is running rampant or they think gators and snakes and huge spiders and stuff.
Right.
No, like Palm Beach County specifically is so beautiful. It's so manicured. It's so like pretty and safe. Like,
But that's what they want you to think. And then you go down there into the water and a gator snatches you and drags you under.
I mean, you would see gators if you go to a preserve. If you go to a preserve, if you go to like, you know, a nature park, then you would see some gators there. But where I live and where we are, it's closer to the beach. Not so many gators. I mean, yeah, gators can still like get loose and get out and roam around.
No Burmese pythons.
No.
17 feet long.
Not where I'm at least. Not where I'm at least. No, where I'm at, we have have you heard these guys? I'm an island boy, just trying to. Oh, good. You're not listening. It's fine.
You ain't right. You ain't right.
No, we have a lot of there's good musicians and rappers and stuff here, but that's more of what's around here, like
okay
rappers and stuff. But no snakes and gators, and if anything, there's a bunch of iguana, which is really cool. It's exotic to see them. There's really pretty birds and stuff, but
okay.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
All right, because they be showing us stuff and them gators be eating people dogs. And
I know. Well, that's the thing. Like, they always advertise the craziest stuff about Florida, like Florida man, Florida crazy stuff, you know.
Yeah. So you brought that up, Island Boy. Are you an Island Boy yourself?
Now I feel like I mean, I love Florida so much, and I'll still go home to visit family, but one, I'm used to being here. And look, I'm in short sleeves. Like,
yeah,
it's December, it's 80 degrees out right now.
I got my heater on, honey. I got my heater on up in here.
See, I'm in shorts. Like,
yeah,
I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I love it.
Oh my God. So okay, so since you said you in shorts and a t-shirt, you're a model too.
And I'm a model.
Yes. What was the name of your agency again?
I don't have one.
Oh, I thought I saw something. I thought you sent me something. It was an agency.
I did have one. That would be an interesting topic of conversation. Modeling is recent for me. Like I said, horses have been a predominant part of my life. And like I said, I would sing, but people would all the time say, oh, you should take pictures. You should take pictures. And then I said, well, fuck it. I need to find a photographer to take some pictures of me. And I found this guy named Visualize Kelvin. He has an Instagram, Visualize Photography by Kelvin. I met up with him, and he made me feel so confident on our first
saw the pictures, yes.
And I was like, wow, that's really me. I'm now actually modeling. And that was the start. Then I ended up meeting people, blah, blah, blah. And earlier this year, maybe summertime, late spring, early summer, I had a couple of agencies reach out to me and say, hey, we would love to work with you, promote you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, wow, here we go. Like, I'm launching off. They did not do one thing.
Exactly.
Like, when I tell you they didn't do, I think one of the agencies had an underwear company send me 4 pair of underwear. That's cool. They did 0. And then they dropped me. But I noticed that they had their other non-Black models. They were promoting them, getting them bookings, jobs, advertising them. And I'm like, well, here I am working on myself every day. Like, if anything, that's what I'm going to do. I was booking other photo shoots on my own, and it was pretty disappointing. But at the same time, I'm not too surprised, because you and I had been talking for a while. You have inspired me and promoted me more than anything that they had done, but definitely inspired me and kept me going. And yeah, no, they didn't do anything for me, unfortunately.
Now I have to have the mother agent talk with you, because I have a fashion background. Black male models are seen as props. I'm sure you found this out the hard way. It's actually a young, prepubescent, adolescent Caucasian girl industry.
Yeah.
And in a modeling agency of about 83 models, 3 of them are Black. That's the ratio. Out of 83 models, 3 of them are Black and only 1 of them is male. It's not our sport, but you can do it. Mm-hmm. You just have to learn how to kind of maneuver. Mm-hmm. And when you, see, I could help you there, but that's a fee. No, but you see, I've been there, so I know. I voyaged all the way to Paris, and I learned. And you know, they just. I had people say some pretty harsh things. I know they're kicking themselves now, but they would say to me like, Black people don't wear couture. Black people don't buy our clothes. Black people can't afford our clothes in their nasty European accents. But it's still doable.
It is.
You just have to kind of do it on your own.
Mm-hmm. You know, one comment that I remember both of the agencies said to me, they were like, well, we don't know what to do about your hair, you know? And I was like, well, you don't have to do anything. If there's a specific look that you want me to do, I have a hairdresser. She can do whatever fucking look you want me to do. I can do like cornrows like this, straight back. I can do loose individual braids. Like I can have it out.
Yeah.
And they just were really, and I even was coming from the point where from the equestrian side, I was sending them different companies and for them to reach out to book me for, you know, different looks on equestrian websites and sending them the information. And they just didn't do anything.
Don't be burned, but let me tell you something.
I'm not.
Your hair is fine, but make sure when you're taking pictures and you are trying to actually model, remove all hair from your face.
Of course.
They love that boy look.
Mm-hmm. The younger look, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's not, listen to what I'm saying. It's not the younger look. It's that boy look.
Mm.
It's racist.
I got you. Mm-hmm. I got you.
You understand? But I don't want to discourage you. Keep doing it. What you do is, and many people have done this, you work on something else. You keep your body the way that it is because your body is magnificent. People will.
Thank you.
They have to. I'm going to put all the links under this so people can see all of the work that you have done on your body to keep your body a certain size, and it's genetic as well. So you know we can't forget that. But keep working on yourself. But what you do is once you start to rise in another area, then fashion will call for you. Once you get clout, I'm using the young kids this term. Once you get clout in another area, then it's the fashion industry will embrace you. But I just want you to understand that there's nothing wrong with you. You have a great look. I'm gonna have to talk to you about some things off camera. I can do something about that.
And I appreciate you. I know I say this in the messages, but
you do.
Anyone who watches this, I appreciate you so much. You really, really have motivated me through times where I was like so low. And I would just send you a message. I'm like, thinking about you. Thank you. Thank you. And I really, really mean it from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, well, you know, you can reach me anytime. You can reach me anytime. You have my number because when I booked you for this interview, I sent my number. So you just text me and I'll know. But yeah, don't give up. What would you say in your life right now? What are you most passionate about? What's at the forefront?
That's a great question. Right now, I'm most passionate about establishing myself. I'm still relatively new to staying down here in Florida. So establishing myself down here, because I was doing a lot of traveling back and forth and I didn't really have a home base because I was just moving around so much. But now that I'm here and staying here, it's about establishing myself, developing myself. People will know me as who I am, an equestrian, a musician, a model, and that this is where I'm based, this is where I live. That's what I'm passionate about. I want people to know. I'm also passionate about people having an interest of educating themselves, whether it's in politics, entertainment. You know, when you educate yourself, you can use that to better other people, to better society. And so education and believe, you know, inspiring people to believe in themselves as well. That's what I'm passionate about.
Okay, so let me tell you something. I can't leave it alone. I won't leave it alone. They're just going to see me mentor. They're going to see me mentor right now. Okay, so the equestrian industry is what you have right now that is taking off. Follow that. It's going to put you in the same circle as all of them snooty fashion people, because those are the ones that send their children to learn how to ride and compete and things like that. That's their sport. So you're going to, and this is the thing, you have to understand something. The modeling agency is the gate. It's the gateway. The real proof and the real agenda is to get into upper crust society.
Exactly.
Modeling, what people don't understand about modeling, it's the lowest member of the fashion community. We out here glorify the model or the supermodel because we want to be like that. But to tell you the truth, when you walk into a serious room of money and there is a fashion show going on, the model is nothing but a hanger, the lowest member in the room. What you need to pay attention to are the people in the seats. The people in the seats. So get this, if you continue to build your brand, working on everything that you like, keeping up your body, but most Black people are not in the equestrian industry. Keep doing that. It's going to put you in the same room. It's going to put you in the same room. Your vehicle, it may not, listen, the Queen of Shape was not the vehicle I wanted. She wasn't the vehicle I wanted. I fought against her for years. They told me, even in the industry, they told me to put on a wig and a dress 15 years ago. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I wasn't ready. I was running from some childhood demons and ghosts and people always making fun of me and already not seeing me as a man. So then I'm like, oh, then you really want me to go ahead and just totally scalp and cut off my testicles by putting on a dress and a wig. But I did it. And then my career exploded. They knew what they were talking about. But the thing about it is, it's now on my terms. I own me. They don't own me. I'm not their boy.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I'm not their boy. And I don't want you to be their boy either. So my thing is, you can still be upwardly mobile, but don't like listen, even to this day, I long to walk down runways in Europe, but I long to walk down runways in Europe as myself. And when I walk, and this is the thing, being a celebrity, they meet your demands. So I'll tell them, when I walk, clear the runway and then play my music so that I can introduce myself to everyone in the seats.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
You gotta think like that. It's not about the model. Sorry. It's not about the model. It's about the people in them seats, because the people in them seats, they're buying the clothes and they can take an interest in you. In Paris, I was in the hospital because, you've heard me say I live with mental illness, bipolar disorder type 1, PTSD, and acute anxiety. I went in the hospital in Paris and it ruined my career. I got signed to 3 agencies and then the bottom fell out. And I don't regret it. But when I was in the hospital, I met a woman. Her name was Madame Toubon. That was her name. And she loved couture. Her sons and her husband didn't allow her to wear the things that the hospital, she was a young woman, maybe in her 40s. I was 22 at that time. They didn't allow her to wear the hospital robes and clothes. They brought her couture, high fashion clothes to wear in the hospital.
Wow.
They loved her. And do you know what she said to me? We're sitting there one day at the table and she looked at me and she said, "You're so special." Now, mind you, I'm crying because I'm in here and I done messed up my career. I came all the way over here. My family, I'm calling my family. Nobody will lend me the $1,500 to get home. It was just a mess. The US Embassy ended up doing it. But she said to me, "Well, what do you think about this?" And what it was a magazine. And it was a fashion magazine. And she flipped through it and I said, "No, that doesn't go. If you fold this page, look at that. If you fold this page over, this right here and this go together." She had an interior design business that she had made hundreds of millions of dollars with. She asked me to be her apprentice. She was going to put me in my own apartment in Paris to learn what she knew. But get this, I saw the looks on her children and husband's faces when she told them. And I said, "No, I can't do that." They didn't want that to happen. And I saw that. And though she was a nice woman, it didn't stop there. She had rings on her fingers. She took a ring off and gave it to me. It brings me, I get emotional because people have been trying to tell me all my life that I was worth something. And there were other people trying to tell me that I wasn't. And she really inspired me. And I learned that it wasn't on the runway that I would make my friends. It was in those seats. And I remember looking like a model, but asking, my French friend said, you got to get into these shows. You came all the way from America to get into these shows. Ask people for invitations. And I had seats next to amazing people. There was one show where Chris Tucker was sitting right in front of me.
Oh, wow.
There were other very prominent actors from America sitting right in front of me. And my thing was, I had a seat. Like, you know how you go to a fashion show and there's standing room, there are tickets for standing room. No, I was third seat from the runway. Runway here, first seat, second seat, third seat. Chris was sitting front row, I was second row. And I'll never forget it. People always, I look like I had long micro braids and I was thin, and I'll never forget, I was sitting. They did some amazing things, which is why I always loved Paris and I want to move there, because they embraced me and it was okay for me to be me and my transvestite self. One of the editors of Vogue Japan saw me standing outside trying to get into the show. She came and she got me. I had on sunglasses, a really tight t-shirt because I was thin. I worked out thin like you, but your body's more developed here in your chest and your abs. I was real thin, still defined, but I had on a tight t-shirt and these like skinny jeans, and my hair was in micros and I had it pulled back so it was behind me. Pretty face, no makeup, and sunglasses. And I'll never forget, she came and she grabbed me and she says, I'm going to take you in and I got you a seat. And I said, oh, thank you so much. I come from America and I'm just trying to get noticed. And she said to me, she said, sweetheart, we've all noticed you since the first day you arrived. But get this, the seat, I didn't know where I was going. It was dark. She said, sit here. When the lights came on for the show, I'll never forget it. The designer's name was Emmanuel Ungaro. He made amazingly beautiful dresses in Paris. And when the lights came on, I started to see the models come down the runway. I'm at the end of the runway. I turn around, my seat, she set me under the lenses, all of the telephoto lenses at the ends of the runway. So get this, not only did the models see me like, who the fuck is that Black person sitting there? But everybody in the side seats are like, who is that under the photos? Like, they're taking photos. Who is that? Like, what's going on? I met so many people. I met designers, major models. And the thing was, I was just there to observe. And I realized that's why I do what I do. That's why I brought you on, to talk to you and to inspire you. There is more than one way to skin a cat, the way my grandmother says. If you want something and are willing to work for it, you can get it, because there are so many ways. Nobody's ever been you before. There have been other Black models before. And listen, the industry will tell you, oh, well, we have someone that looks like you. They always say that. No, sweetie. You don't have anybody that looks like me. No, you don't. But there are more than one way to get in, and you are actually already on your way. If you continue in the equestrian field, you're there with all of their country clubs and houses and their children, and then they see you and you become knowledgeable about their industry. Because that's what happened to me. A fashion editor from New York for Essence, her name was Ionia Dunlea, said to me, you have to use every single talent that you have to arise a respectable opinion in this business. That's what you want. You don't want to just be a model. You want to rise and have an opinion that they value. You see? All right, I've been mentoring. Let's get back to these questions. So, how tall are you?
I'm 6 feet tall.
I'm only 5'11". How much do you weigh?
160.
Stay that way. It's genetic though. It's genetic. Just don't get depressed and put on a whole bunch of weight. You'll be good.
No, I'll try not to.
And don't cut your hair. They've had models.
Okay.
Yeah, they've had models with hair.
Hmm.
I cut mine, and it was the biggest mistake I ever made. It was
Oh
the biggest
yeah.
mistake I ever made. Yeah, I got good photos, but it wasn't me. Now I'm wearing wigs, but fine, I don't care. But yeah, like it. Don't cut your hair. They always said to me, if you want to make it, you got to cut your hair. Don't cut your hair. They have to embrace
Hmm. Yeah.
African Americans.
Yes.
You know, I see, and the thing is, I am seeing more inclusion, but I love like people like Naomi Campbell. She's always talking about inclusion on the runway because for a moment, our runways went completely whitewashed, completely.
Hmm.
There were no Black models, you know, crazy. So anyway, this music, do you have anything released?
I do. I have a few songs that are out on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. I work with a guy who's local. He's not too far away, so it's great because when I come up with different ideas, we can collaborate. But he's been my studio engineer and has helped me with my up and coming project, which I hopefully will be able to release very, very soon. Yeah, so it's yeah.
That's good. Okay. So you're gonna tell us, we're not done yet. We still got a couple more minutes. But just make sure when I ask you where we can find you. Like what well, actually I'll just do it now. What's your performer name?
Deuce Anderson. You can find me online as Deuce Anderson. I've got my one of my main songs right now is called "Thinking About You." I'm thinking about you, baby. And I I came up with that concept. There was a guy from Atlanta. We were just messaging online. He said, "Hey, I make some beats," and sent me that one. And I thought of the lyrics in the song right away. And it's a cute song. It's catchy. It's a good beat. Yeah.
That's so funny. Black people, especially Black men, we are so talented.
Absolutely.
We're so-
And the way that you've helped promote me, that's what I try to do on my page. There's other local Black models or entertainers that I try to put on my page. I don't have a huge following, but it's all about the effort. I'm able to
Mhm,
support who I can support, and
mhm.
I would love to see Black people dominate everything.
Yeah.
Everything. We can dominate in any industry, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, a basketball player, a president. It doesn't matter. We're
Yeah.
going to come in and
Yeah.
deliver.
Yeah. Don't worry about the following. I was promoting men when I had no followers. I was promoting all my Black and Latin buddies when I had no followers.
Mhm.
And then this happened, and it was like, oh, good. Now I can really showcase you guys.
Mhm.
Like now I can really bring, you guys to the forefront. So tell us. I always ask this question, but I'm going to preface it. Don't tell us. Even though I'm going to ask the question, don't tell us. Are you seeing anyone? Don't tell us. Don't tell us. Don't tell us. Because anytime you are in entertainment and you take and say that you're seeing someone, your value goes down because everyone thinks that the chance that they have to be with you is gone or lost. So that's just a little trick I always do.
Okay.
Yeah, I always ask, and then I say, don't tell. Don't tell.
Okay.
It's what I like to teach. I like to teach all of us because it's like, you have to keep your relationships private. You do. It's your
Yeah, yeah, really.
private life.
And yeah, yeah.
Go ahead. You were going to say something. Go ahead.
No, yeah, no, you're good.
I said no, no. Okay. No. So okay. So you're working on a new project. You have an amazing body. We talked about that. We talked about modeling. I'm going back to the cello. I wish. I'm going to bring you back on because I'm going to have you play the cello for me.
Oh my gosh. Well,
But
I
you
would
know
be a little
what?
scratchy. Like I can play like some stuff. I'm not in a
Uh-huh.
regular practicing thing nowadays. So I could
Uh-huh.
I could probably play something, but it wouldn't be like
But you know what? You already have something ahead of most people because I can't do it. You read music.
I can read music, yeah.
Do you know what a gift that is? That's a gift. That's a gift. That's a gift. That's a gift.
Hmm.
Read music. I don't read music.
Yeah.
Everything I do is by ear. I hear by ear. I write by ear. I sing by ear. Even my A&R said, we don't want you to change anything about your voice. We like it raw. So they said, we're not sending you to a vocal coach for actual lessons. We're sending you to a vocal coach because she's going to teach you how to be confident on stage, because clearly you don't want to sing on stage. I'm getting over it now. That was years ago. That was 20 years ago. But I'm getting over it now, because 4 albums in, I have to sing this music. I have to, especially especially in Europe. I have to sing this music. Like,
and it can be really, I mean, yeah, it can be a little nervous, but it's really exhilarating to see people's reaction to your music, especially when they love it, when they're dancing to it, or if they're singing the lyrics back. Like, that is really fulfilling.
Yeah, and I'm streaming in 56 countries, but they need to go ahead and pay artists more money, because the streaming sites, they don't pay us that much.
No.
So yeah, you really can't make any money until you are uber famous. So that's why I'm doing I'm a queen of many talents.
And even the bigger artists still have to have some kind of a side project. Rihanna goes on to do Fenty makeup. Ariana Grande is doing makeup and stuff. You gotta do something else.
You gotta but that's the thing. You gotta be a jack of all trades. They used to say that was bad. Oh, don't be a jack of all trades and a master of none. No. I'm gonna be a jack of all trades, because I need everything. Like, I was in the car. I was in the car with my grandmother this morning, and we were talking about lashes. I really just started using lashes, and I was just like really excited. And I looked at her and I was like, I need a beauty line and a lash line. And she was like, yeah, you do. And I was like, I don't want to do it now because it requires a shitload of money, and I'm trying to get some things done. I said, but coming down the pipeline, I need my own cosmetics. And she was like, yeah, you should, because your face is very commercial. You're always giving looks and makeup. That should be a part of your business. So I was like, oh, all right. But see, you're always thinking about how, like, that's what I learned from that industry, is always how to reinvent yourself, how to squeeze, a dollar out of 10 cents, or, it's just so crazy. So what do you do in your spare time? Like, what do you like to do for fun?
Well, I do love working out. I love eating. I love eating. As I am, any of my friends will say that I'm the fat ass of the group, because I love eating. But I love eating very healthy. I have a very lean diet. So I'm more on like the organic, vegan, vegetarian side.
Okay.
I don't eat any meat, but I do love eating.
What's your favorite thing to eat?
I love pizza. Even though pizza is like not healthy. Pizza's not healthy, but that is maybe one of my biggest weaknesses is pizza.
I thought you were just gonna say everything.
I mean, just about everything. I mean, I love eating, but pizza, and then for my other cheat food is pie, apple pie.
Oh my God. No, I'm gaining weight while you're saying this.
Exactly. That's why I'm the fat ass of my friends. I'm telling you.
Like, no, I'm 39. I'll be 40 next year. It ain't like it used to. I gotta work hard for this.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta work hard to keep this way. What's your favorite color?
Even some of my friends who are like, fit with me, like when we're like hanging together on a regular basis, they're the ones that gain weight. I'm like you said, it's genetics. I'm blessed.
Genetics.
But I swear, like, they'll gain weight and get a little bit fatter, and I'm just over here just eating everything. Still have a good fat. But
that's what I love about our black men. Our black men, you always see a black boy chugging a cheesesteak, chugging cheese, chugging a soda, and don't gain no weight.
Oh my God.
I was asking you, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is orange.
Oh, that's different. Why orange?
Orange, I feel like it fits me. I feel like as a color, that's what I vibrate out. That's what I radiate. Orange is, like you said, it's unique, it's different. It's like it's not as hot as red, but it's not as cool as yellow.
Yeah.
So,
I was gonna say it's not typical. It has nothing to do with all the orange trees down there.
Not necessarily. No. But I love the color orange.
Do you get fresh squeezed orange juice?
I do, and let me tell you, like, The orange juice, like when you have it fresh squeezed down here, like
Oh,
when I would go back up to visit my parents in DC and I would get
nothing.
orange juice from the store, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like watered down. Like
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
orange juice down here is
Like, no, honey, I'm in a state where they grow this.
exactly.
Oh my God. If you could give us 3 words that inspire you to live your life and be organically who you are every day, what would they be?
Ooh. Uh, 3 words that, oh, I would
Inspire you.
say, yeah, 3 words that inspire me. I would say, um, tenacity.
Mm-hmm.
I would say self-belief
Mm-hmm.
and um, I guess whatever the word would be for like to desire, to want, to be able to look into the stars, have a dream, and to go after it. Whatever word that is, put that in there.
Passion. Passion.
Passion, yeah. But I say tenacity first because no matter what, like we were talking about, you have to like fight for
Yeah.
it, you have to go for it.
You gotta,
And people are going to tell you that you can't, no matter what industry you're going to be in,
no
no
matter
matter what
what.
you're going to do, there's going to be somebody like, oh, you can't do that. You're ugly. You're too short. You're too fat.
Yeah.
You're too dark. You're too whatever.
Mm-hmm. I got sick and tired of them telling me that. For some reason, even in Hollywood, I had a couple people in Hollywood that thought they were going to do better than me because they were light skinned. I said, honey, you ain't seen a brown girl, baby. A brown girl, we got all the talent. It's always that way.
Yeah.
They promote the stereotype of, honey, you can have your high yellow self.
Exactly.
And then this is the thing, they pit us against each other.
I know. It's so ridiculous.
It's so bad. Like, no.
My dad is my dad is very light skinned.
Uh-huh.
And I remember when I was growing up, he would always be out in the sun trying to get darker. And I would be like,
oh
no. But it would make me think, and he would be like, oh son, I wish I had your complexion. I want to be as dark as you. And I would think, and like you said, like in society, we're kind of pitted against each other, light skin versus dark skin.
Yeah.
But once I started to embrace my skin, also coming down here because the sun is beaming down all the time.
Yes, that's why you have that gorgeous color. I was
about to say, you know what? I'm going to embrace the skin that I have. Yes, I'm going to take my clothes off, be in the sun, the darker, the darker, you know what I'm saying?
But now that I'm talking to you, it makes sense. The last pictures I saw of you, you were in riding boots and pants and things like that. And what I love is, get this. When an agency markets a young Black model, they put them in riding boots. They make them look like they participate in the equestrian industry. So what I love about it is that you're really in the industry. So when you had the photos and you put on the riding boots and the pants and the shirt, that was really a page out of your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You're going to be very successful, Deuce. Don't worry.
Thank you.
You are. You're going to be very successful. Just, keep your focus. Keep your focus. Do the things that you want to do. How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay, see, you're 30, no problem. See, this is the thing. What they don't tell you is male models work more as they age. Women have more of a time frame of from 14 to 24 kind of thing. Men, they like us to be distinguished and grow. So you can work at 50 and 60 years old as long as you maintained your beauty. And then it's so funny because then they put you in things where you're a man of the world. You've got on suits and stay thirsty, friends. Like, you're doing that kind of stuff. But that's so crazy. Thank you for taking the opportunity to talk.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I didn't mean to mentor you for free.
I mean, one, I definitely appreciate having a dialogue with you. Definitely appreciate all of your advice on this. And, on the side, you're a blessing. You're so wonderful.
You're amazing. You're amazing. I'm so glad that people are going to get to see this because truly, you're remarkable. I learned some things about you today that I did not know. Yeah. I want you to keep going in the equestrian business. I do. I want to see how far you can go there, because you'll look up and have all kinds of things, all kinds of people. One person that comes to mind is Donna Karen. She would have all of these parties at her houses, and it was always horses and, doing stuff like that. And they were competing. And, oh, when we go to the track, and all that blue blood stuff. Like,
Right.
I'm like, honey.
It's definitely a different.
It's a world.
It's a different world. Yeah, the horse world it's beautiful. Like I said, that has allowed me to travel and meet wonderful people and see some amazing properties, mansions, acres and acres of land.
Yes. And that's the thing. See, you're in the lifestyle already. You're there. Stay there, please. Stay there. That's where you belong. You're already in. Didn't even realize it. You're already in. You're already there. You just have to keep doing what you can do. Yeah. And then eventually pull out your cello and let them know that you can play.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it'll be like, oh, you're an artist, a real one.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to end this. Thank you for talking to me today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Don't hang up yet. I'm going to talk to you for a couple of seconds after I stop the recording. Okay. Just say bye to everyone.
Everyone, thank you so much.
Now, you told us where we could find you, right? You told us all of your Twitter.
You can find any of my music, you can find online, Deuce Anderson, YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. You can find me on Instagram at Deuce X Do, which is 2 in French. Yes. And that's where I have most of my modeling pics. And yeah, you can follow the Queen of Shades. She'll be posting me from time to time. You may
I damn sure will. You're always sending me content. I know you're like, where'd you go post it? But I'm rearranging. Yeah. But
I know you have a lot going on. So
no, but yeah, I do. But I'm saving it. When you send it to me, I'm like, okay, I got this. Yeah. All right. Say bye. For real. Stay there for a second.